Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Karen Goldberg, your instructor for this course. I wanted to welcome you and introduce myself and give a little bit of a short overview about accessing stuff online through Blackboard. If you look at my screen, I have Blackboard open in the same way that it would appear when you first open Blackboard. So what you're looking at here is your Blackboard page, although it's my Blackboard page, obviously. The first thing you're going to do is select the course. And I'm doing this for all of my courses, so you would select the one that you're in. But rather than having me repeat the same video 3 times, I'm just going to show you once. So let's say we're going to go to this course. If that's the one that you're enrolled in, you click on it, and you wait for Blackboard to go painfully slowly, because it always does. And it should take you to the Start Here page. Everything you always are going to need to know should be on the Start Here page. So you should always start there. That's why it's called Start Here, obviously. From there, the other thing that you should know is on the Start Here page, or from the Start Here page, if you look down the left column of your screen, you'll see there's information about the course. If you click on information about the course, it's going to tell you, as soon as it gets there, because Blackboard is so slow, it's going to tell you some information about me, who I am, my office hours, where my office is, and it's going to have the course syllabus. The course syllabus is very, very important, and you will be quizzed on the syllabus, the contents of the syllabus, on your first quiz. So straight out of the syllabus, yes, you will be asked questions on your first quiz. Why? Well, not because I want you to retain every word that I have to say in the syllabus, but because it's important for you to understand how you're being evaluated. Throughout the semester, invariably, I get asked a gazillion times, how much is this weigh? Can I do extra credit? Blah, blah, blah. The answers to all of those questions are on the syllabus. So rather than having to answer dozens or hundreds of emails of students asking about things that I've already taken the time to answer by putting a lot of thought into the syllabus, I want to make sure that you've read the syllabus, that you understand what's on there, etc. So I'm not going to go through the syllabus because, like I said, this is the same recording for all of my courses, and so the syllabus is going to be a little bit different for each course. But one of the things that you want to focus in on when you're reading the syllabus is what you're being evaluated on. So it's very clear how many points you get allocated to each component of every item that you're being graded on. So in most cases, there are quizzes associated at the end of each chapter, and it'll tell you how much the quizzes are worth, how much the exams are worth. I call them exams rather than the terms and finals, because those words tend to make people anxious. So I want you to know what you're being evaluated on. So at the end of the semester, you don't come back to me and say, well, I know I didn't do any of the quizzes, but I still did very well on the final, so can I still get a good grade? The answer is no, because if you look at how the grading is laid out in the syllabus, you'll see that from the get-go, it's been very clear how the grades are determined. The other thing that I want you to take notice of on Blackboard is, again, if you go to the course materials link on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see where I have it highlighted right there. Click on course materials. That's going to be where all of the information is every single week. So for each week in the course, you'll see a folder. I'm going to go down to the bottom here, because this is actually a shell course that you're looking at. So, but if you look here, there's a folder called Business Ethics. And typically what I'll do is I'll have the folder set up for each chapter in the book. So it'll say Module 1, Business Ethics, or I guess technically in that class it would be Module 2, Business Ethics, or Module X, and then talk about whatever the topic is. So you want to click on that. When you click on that, you'll have to wait for Blackboard, just like I will, and you'll see a couple of different things on there. So the first thing you'll see is Chapter 2 slides. Before you review the slides, always, always, always read the information in the textbook first. The reason for that is, well, there's a couple of reasons for that. First, when you read the information the first time from the book, when you go through the slides, that should be a reinforcement of the material that you've already read. Secondly, sometimes the book is wrong, particularly in introductory courses, because the people who write textbooks can't be experts in everything, and there are some areas where they're not so expert. And in the slides, I will sometimes correct what's said in the book. So you have to understand what's said in the book before you realize why I'm correcting it or what's wrong about it. So if you click on the slides here, it'll launch the option for you to open the PowerPoint slides, which after you've read the textbook chapter, you'll do, and click OK. Excuse me. And then it'll automatically open PowerPoint. You obviously need to have PowerPoint on your computer in order to view it. You also need to have a computer, especially if this is an online course for you. You really can't take an online course if you don't own a computer, because there's stuff that needs to be done online every single week. And if you don't own a computer, it's going to be impossible for you to keep up, and there's stuff that's going to need to be done every single week. So you're going to launch the PowerPoints, and you can go through them whether you want to do it as you will in PowerPoint, if you want to do it in slideshow mode, or if you want to do it in the current screen mode. That's entirely up to you, but you'll go through the slides. Each slide always starts off with learning objectives, so that you know at the outset, and these are in the textbook as well, you know at the outset. So anything that you need to see is going to be on this course materials within the folder, as I mentioned before. So you go to the folder, business others before, and the slides are always going to be there. You can see it's organized in terms of components. So here you have the slides. In this particular section, I have a discussion board. And there was also a movie. And if there's a movie, as there is in this case, you're going to be responsible for that as well. So the movies that I have on Blackboard are all YouTube videos that I've embedded in here. So you click on the Watch Video button, and that'll pull the YouTube video right up. And there's the red button that you're probably familiar with, that you've seen a million times on YouTube. And you click on that to start watching the movie. And when you're done, you can click back and get back to your Blackboard screen. Any other material that I would have for you, be it an assignment, be it the quizzes will be in folders here as well. I do want to stress it's up to you to stay on top of the material. It's obviously important whether you're in a face-to-face class or an online class, but you just need to keep on top of things. Every single week, just about, is going to have some sort of quiz or assessment or assignment. And if you don't stay on top, you're just going to get yourself in a vicious, vicious cycle. And I say this in particular for those of you who are in an online class, because when I'm not there having the face-to-face interaction with you, it's very easy to kind of let things slide. But make it a priority. Have in your calendar, set aside the time. This is when I'm going to read the textbook reading. This is when I'm going to go through the slides. This is when I'm going to do the assignments. This is when I'm going to take the quizzes, etc. Make sure that you have it as a priority. I know many of you are balancing multiple priorities, work, school, family, etc. I totally get that, but this has to be made a priority. Otherwise, once you start falling behind, it just gets harder and harder to catch up, and you don't want to get in that cycle. The other thing I wanted to mention in the syllabus, and you'll see this also when you go to where it says about this course, and you see the syllabus up there. I think I have a version open. You'll see a very well laid out schedule. So in this case, this is for one of the classes, in this case Management 101, week 1, and it tells you week 1 is January 25th through January 31st, because again, particularly for online students, it's a little harder to say, well, when should I really get this done? And it tells you exactly what you need to do. You need to watch the welcome overview video that you're watching now, obviously, because this is me. You need to read the course syllabus, because as I mentioned, that is going to be on your initial quiz. Read chapter 1, review the PowerPoint slides, and then there will be, when this course is completely set up for you, a link to the quiz that contains items about the syllabus and about chapter 1. On the right-hand column are any due dates for assignments. So again, I'm not going to necessarily say don't forget to submit your quiz this week, because, you know, I'm trying to prepare you for the business world, and in the business world, your boss isn't going to remind you on a weekly basis of everything that you need to do, because it becomes expected of you. So you know where the information is, and I try to put relevant university things, like in this case the deadline to add, drop, or register, but it'll say things like complete the quiz 1. In this case, if there's a group project, submit the introductory group wiki, and so on and so forth. If you scroll down, you'll see it'll tell you what you need to do. All of those informations will be, all of those pieces of information will be on the Blackboard site, where you need to be finding them inside the module folder. Another question I tend to get asked a lot is, are there extra credit options? What can I do? I didn't do that well on a couple of quizzes. I want to bolster my grade. The answer is generally no. There are not extra credit options, and the reason for that is not because I'm mean or I'm unsympathetic, is because I want to be fair to everybody. And a lot of people who are balancing multiple priorities do whatever it takes to make sure that it gets done on time. Their quizzes are done on time. Any written work is done on time. And if I make exceptions for one student, then that's unfair to those other students who busted their butt to get everything done on time. So that's not a can of worms that I'm willing to open. And again, it's part of getting people prepared for the real world, because nobody has ever asked or gotten extra credit opportunities from their boss, or sob stories that result in turning in late work, etc. So again, I see part of my role as teacher and part of my role, especially in the business school, preparing you for life in the real world.